Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of One Meal a Day Modified. Yes, it is my version of the intermittent fasting lifestyle. And yeah, I called it a lifestyle, not a fad, because I found it really easy to stick to as long as you eat good, wholesome foods that add value. And as long as you make sure you're consuming enough, but not overdoing it. So I have a giant salad, as usual, full of veg. And one of the things I'm going to talk about today are carbohydrates. A lot of people believe that they can't eat carbs, and then they claim that they're craving carbs. The carbs that most people ate to get themselves into a less than optimal state of health are the simple, garbage, worthless carbs. It's stuff that's in cookies, candies, cakes, that thick ass crust on pizza, stuff like that, grinders, that are, the bread is like, 8 inches thick. Okay, that might be an exaggeration. However, if you add the length to the girth, it probably is. Stuff like that. So one of the things I wanted to show is that like this meal is full of complex carbohydrates. And a couple modifications, of course. So one of the modifications I made is instead of using like regular iceberg lettuce, use a heartier green, something that will give you plenty of fiber. And so what I did is I used a really young cabbage. It's something that my sister and I used to do when we were young. I don't know why we like cabbage in our salad, but we love it. It makes it super crunchy. It's more fun to eat. There's some flavor there. If the cabbage, especially the younger it is, the better. And of course, all the other veg that packs out this salad. And it is huge. It's one of those large restaurant bowl size salads. The only thing is I don't have it doming over, but this is a really large salad. And especially if I'm only going to eat this as my meal today, you want to make sure you have some good backup. So one of the things I did as an alternative is I used some of that cabbage in my hamburger salad. This is like a version of a hamburger, but I actually use ground turkey to make this. And one of the things I did is I packed out my burger with veg. So you can see there's a lot of veg in the burger. There's turmeric, granulated garlic, red crushed pepper seed, dried dill, dried basil. I also added, of course, a sprinkle of finishing salt. So I did not add salt to the burger, but after it was done, I added a little finishing salt to the completed cooked burger. And then for my sauces, I guess I'll call them, I added some A1 steak sauce because it adds a lot of flavor, and some sriracha. So, and like I stated on this, there's some other veg, to round this out, and some homemade pickles. Different than the cucumbers in my salad, I pickled some pickles on my own. And the bread is it's like a high fiber pumpernickel, which you can find at any store now. And this one is supposedly doesn't have GMOs and is not, and it's organic. So you have to go by what the label says. I didn't make it myself. And my burger is thick. So this is probably the size of 2 burgers in one. And the reason for that is you want to make sure you're getting enough of your daily proteins. And there, like I said, in this meal, there are a lot of complex carbohydrates. My classic salad, this burger that's full of veg, which has fiber that's complex, as well as the bread itself. And yes, there are 2 slices of bread for this salad, cut in half, of course. So, you know, eat the crust, don't eat the crust. I say eat the crust because you're going to find a lot of your fiber ends up there. But if you don't, because you're, you know, concerned and you want to decrease your carbs a little bit in this meal, you know, don't eat the crust, peel it off. That will save you a little bit. But don't be afraid of complex carbohydrates. You can find it in rices, not white rice. It should be a wild rice, red rice, you know, something like that. Also, you can find it in certain cereal foods, which you can mix with your yogurts. But you like mucilix, you want to just make sure that you're buying something that's truly wholesome, not full of sugars, additives. Of course, like I said, veg is a great source. Broccoli, cauliflower, any sort of like, I always call them the bushy vegetables. And of course, greens, you know, not iceberg lettuce, but something that's like heartier, such as your kales and your spring mixes that have a bunch of different greens in them, dandelion greens, things like that. So there are a lot of good sources for complex carbs and seeds. You know, some nuts, it depends, because nuts, you know, tend to have a lot of fats in them as well. So if you're trying to lose weight, this is not the time to consume lots of nuts. But you can still consume the seeds, which are a great source of getting a complex carb, as well as the benefit of nut seed oils. So on your journey, make sure you're not, you know, depriving yourself because you think you have to. Just know exactly what you're eating and what you are supposed to eat. And remember, fiber is important for cleaning out your insides. You know, it's like, I consider it like the scrubber of the human body. It gets rid of some of, you know, the things that we are not supposed to have in our body or we have too much of. And also it helps you with your toilet games. So at the end of the day, you know, complex carbohydrates are found in fibrous foods. You need them. Enjoy them. Just know exactly what you're eating. Know how much of it you're getting. And also just make sure your diet is balanced. So hopefully you found this helpful. Give us a thumbs up. Remember, we are now on Patreon and we have extra content out there with more details. You can learn more about me. Eventually there will be some before and after pictures of me out there that you hopefully will enjoy. Thank you guys for tuning in. And remember, health is wealth.